consistent like 10K above months.
Downloaded it. I checked the date, July of 2021. And then I left my job in September of 2021.
Since then, I've sold websites. I've pivoted my business. I'm no longer doing social media management.
What has been like your highest month?
13K.
It has literally changed my life.
When you were designing on WordPress, were you charging way less? Like, what is that like?
Yeah, way less. I think my first WordPress was like $500.
$500 for a WordPress site versus like up to $5,000 for a Showit site.
All right, welcome back, you guys. Today we have a star student, Molly Hansen of High Vibe Studio, who I'm super excited to chat with. You just completed a rebrand. I would say that it embodies the High Vibe Studio through and through.
Yeah.
Well, we've chatted on Instagram, we've chatted in DMs, but super excited to get to know you on a more personal level, hear about your journey, how long you've been doing web design, what you were doing before web design, and what your goals are with this business of yours.
Yeah. I'm pumped.
Yes.
Yay, let's go.
Well, let's kick things off. Molly, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Give us kind of like your elevator pitch of what your business are all about.
Yeah, so obviously my name is Molly and I run High Vibe Studios, which is really like our mission as a business. And I say our as in like me and my dog. Our mission as a business is really to help people have the confidence to show up with radical authenticity in their business, because for me, that is truly like a core value. It's the most sustainable way, in my opinion, to run a business. So I help people do that by understanding what their energy is through like 6 key concepts, and then helping them implement that in their business in a way that actually impacts sales and their community and makes business like a fuck ton more fun.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love how, well, you're teaching authenticity, and it's so clear that that is authentic to you. Like, you found your way, you found your niche, and you really defined how you're unique from everyone else. And you're standing in your own power, showing, like, kind of representing what you can then help other people do, which I think is literally the best way to do
100%.
it. Yeah. So why don't you fill us in? Give us like what the last couple of years have looked like. Like, give us like the journey, the timeline.
Oh man. Okay. So I went to school for interior design, actually. So I do have a creative background in design. And my favorite part about like studying interiors, because I wanted to go into commercial. So I really loved the branding aspect of it. And then when I was graduating, I got a job like at a marketing agency doing exhibit design. So I did like more graphics, worked with a lot of brand guidelines and brand stories and all these different people. And it was awesome. But I just like wasn't feeling fulfilled in the way that I wanted to be. So I left and I went to a different job, which was awful. It was horrible. I hated it. I liked it for maybe a month because it was new. I was like using a program that I had been using in college, and I thought this was going to take me closer to my goal. But I realized that I don't like being told what to do. And I literally like shed tears on a regular basis because I felt like my creativity was dying. And that was really, really hard for me because I had gone into a creative field, and my whole goal with it was like, I want to help people. I want to impact people's daily lives and the planet or whatever, because I also have credentials in sustainability and human health and wellness.
Cool.
So that's a little side tangent, but I just wasn't feeling fulfilled. So I was like starting to do some soul searching, and I was like, okay, I know that I want to work for myself. Because, like I said, I don't like being told what to do. And I don't like having to feel super professional all the time. That is so not me. And I felt like I was constantly walking on eggshells, like in the office. And I knew I wanted to work remote. I knew I wanted to help people, and I wanted to impact their lives in some way that was significant. And I wanted to do something creative. I had no idea what that was going to be, but I was like, scrolling on Instagram or something and randomly came across one of your videos, Becca, and it was something about your story. I think it was like you talking about being a high school dropout and whatnot. And I was like, oh, like if she could do it, I could do it. Like I could do this. This sounds awesome. And then I went to your website and I was like, oh, I want to take wealthy web designer and I want to take CEO of Showit. but my ass was broke. So I was living paycheck to paycheck. And I literally like prayed that night. I'm a spiritual person. So I was like, God, okay, if this is the direction that I'm supposed to go, because I felt very called in that direction. I was like, if this is the direction that I'm supposed to go, please make these classes financially accessible to me. Otherwise, I was just going to do the cheaper of the two. Literally, I got up at 4:30 in the morning the next day to work on my continuing education for a different credential. And you guys had a sale that bundled Wealthy Web Designer and CEO Showit. And I was like, oh,
Shut up.
this
Oh
is
my
so
God.
obvious. Like, I can't like neglect this. And so I called my parents. It was like 5 in the morning when I finally called them. I was like, hey, this is happening. I prayed about it. Like, what do you think I should do? And I was still in the middle of like a continuing education for this credential that I had worked so hard to get. I wasn't even done with it. And my parents, both of them were like, yes, you should go for it. You'll make this money back. You'll be fine. And that is so not like them. They're normally like, finish what you're working on. You already worked, like you've spent 4 years in college. You spent the last like 3 years studying, basically doing these continuing ed things. Never in a million years would they normally tell me to do that. So that was like another kicker for me. I was like, okay, add to cart.
Yeah, you're like,
Parents.
that's the validation I needed.
Was that new for you in your life? Like being what sounds like always embodying creativity in probably lots of different mediums. Was that approval and like almost empowerment from your parents a huge deciding factor in feeling like this could be your next level?
Yeah, I do. Because I mean, like, I've always had supportive parents, but I feel like me going into a creative field was a little bit of a shocker. Because, like,
Right.
my dad was a mechanic working on like large scale machinery for a long time. My mom was a nurse. My brother went to nursing school. Like, my sister's a CPA and all this stuff. And me going into creative field was a little bit weird. And then I was like, oh, I can make a career out of this. I showed them the plan. And then I made this big pivot after I had already gotten a job, and they're like, all right, whatever, like you do you're going to make it happen. So I'm grateful that I have the support of my family, but that definitely was like a confirmation for me that I could go forward and do it.
Yeah.
We are really proud of you. I hope that your
Yeah.
parents are as proud as we are, because
Yeah, absolutely.
it's really scary to make that decision, especially when the people around you and your closest people are in, I want to say stable careers, but like jobs. And you're like, I think I want to go against the grain a little bit and create something for myself. There's obviously so many pros and things that you reap the benefits of, but it is scary. And so how long ago was that you made that decision?
That was, I want to say April of last year, I purchased. And so I was still like, I would wake up at 4:30 every morning and I would do like 30 minutes of education for my like well AP. And then I would do 30 minutes of like the CEO Showit and Wealthy Web Designer. And then like try to spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes working on my website or practicing. And then I would walk my dog, go to my 9 to 5, come home, go to the gym. Like, I was just super cyclical.
The hustle was alive.
Yes.
Yes.
So
it was a lot of work.
How long did you do that for? Like, when did you quit your 9 to 5?
I actually didn't quit my 9 to 5. I got laid off.
Okay, tell us the story.
Oh my gosh. This is another like spiritual moment for me, because I was like, obviously I had worked on my business. I was starting to market myself, and I wasn't getting a lot of traction. And I think I had landed, no, I didn't even land a client yet. I had gotten like a little bit of interest, but nothing solid, not an application or anything. And I was like getting so frustrated because I was working so hard. I think I messaged you, Becca, during that time. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
What do I do? Yeah.
But I just like had it in the back of my mind, just like this pressure being like, you need to quit your job. And I was I didn't want to do it because I was like, I don't have any justification for this because I don't have any clients yet. I don't have like enough in savings to sustain myself because I've had such a shit income for so long. And then I literally like threw a fit in my like prayer one morning, and I was like, God, why are you not talking to me? Like, tell me what I'm supposed to do. And then I got laid off that day. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
You did it for me, I guess. And then like 2 weeks later, or I got furloughed, and then 2 weeks later I was laid off. And so I went into my business full time technically in like January
Okay.
and got my first client in March.
Okay.
Wow. Really? It's like the universe being like, here's your answer. Here's what you need to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of stubborn, so it's just like smack me in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to go back for a second. You mentioned that you don't like being told what to do, which I had like a little freak out because I relate to that on like a deep spiritual level. I don't like authority. I never have. And that's actually been a topic that's come up a few times this last round of interviews. And I think it's a trend that I'm noticing is that the girls that don't like being told what to do and don't like authority are the ones that end up creating these web design businesses that really have like no bounds. Like we want to feel like we can be as creative as possible without being shoved in this box of like corporate and 9 to 5 and a shitty boss. And even like, I think it goes as deep as like, why we design on Showit, because you could totally design on another platform, but just being someone, if you don't like having rules to follow, it's like it really does guide you in all of your decisions that you make.
100%. I literally just got done designing in Squarespace for the first time. Not a fan. I don't like being restricted. Like, let me do what I want to do.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. So when were you let go of your job? When was
late December. So I think they sent me the email on like December 21st.
Perfect.
When did your rebrand start being concepted?
I want to say April. So it would have been like exactly a year from when I first started experiencing things. And I remember feeling like, oh man, like I've only been in this for a year. I haven't even had like that many clients yet, literally like one or two. And I felt like that was too soon, but I feel like I've also like grown so much as just emotionally, mentally, like spiritually, and like as an entrepreneur. I've grown so much in that time period that I was like, this just doesn't fit and it doesn't feel like me. And I think the freedom from like not having to go to my 9 to 5 anymore, like really helped me come out of my shell creatively. And that was like a huge thing for me. I was like, oh man, like you can see in my original branding that I felt restricted and that I was like trying to still be palatable. And so it was April, it started as a concept. And then obviously I just launched it like what, 3.5, 4 weeks ago, something like that.
I love it. It's very clear that you needed to be unleashed from even your past like existence, like who you were. Like it's like your identity. You had to shed the layer of that old Molly and become this new person, which is so clear through your rebrand. Like when you go onto your Instagram or your website, I know you. Like at least I think I do, you know, like you land and it has such this energy of like, this is who the fuck I am. And I'm showing up so authentically me, which comes back to how you help other people, which I think is so beautiful. But I feel like you just needed that, like the door open where then you were able to really like ideate and step into this like real like business owner that you are.
Yeah, it's been so freeing and so fun. And like I obviously like I thank and appreciate previous me, but like I can look back just at my brand photos alone and be like, she's so sweet, but she's like the baby version of this.
Totally.
What was it like? So in the time of you kind of starting to hit some challenges in terms of getting clients and realizing that your brand just entity wasn't necessarily where you wanted it to be, what was it like from there to the point of like kind of launching your rebrand? From my perspective, it feels like that was you finding your voice as a business owner, finding it visually, being able to express it at such a higher level. What was that experience like for you? And would you say that you feel like you found your voice as a designer now?
I absolutely have. I think so. I actually went to this thing called Women's Entrepreneurship Week
Cool.
in Milwaukee. It's like a whole week of all these different entrepreneurs coming together, speaking engagements, like all sorts of different things, and then like networking events and stuff afterwards. It was awesome. It was my first time ever going, but I went to one of the sessions and there was a coach there, and she mentioned a quote from Jay Shetty, which literally propelled my entire rebrand, and it's called "Serve the Pain That You Know Best." And it's really about reflecting on your life as a whole and then helping that, like identifying what pain you experienced the most in your life and how that integrates into your business now. And that for me was being told that I'm too much, or even sometimes not enough for some people, but just always being told that I'm wrong, that I'm not enough, I'm too bold, too opinionated, too loud, all those things. And I was like, I don't know, it was this weird experience of like, almost like an epiphany. I was like, oh, this is what I talk about. This is literally where my passion is. I just didn't know how to voice it yet. And then once I found the words to put to that experience, what I plan to do through my business and how I help my clients, that literally shifted everything, and it all snowballed from there. And once I found those words, I was like, all right, I know exactly what I'm saying. As soon as I started implementing it, I felt my whole community change. My followers have continued to increase. My relationships with people have changed. And it's just been this gigantic snowball effect on my business. And even just on me as a person, I feel so much more confident knowing how to say what I do differently, which is now what I also help my clients do.
Mm-hmm. What, like, were there things like that quote? I feel like is actually realer and deeper than what I was expecting you to even say. So first of all, that's a super real quote.
Yeah, it's like life changing.
A lot of people say that like my approach feels like business therapy, and that's 100% like what it is.
Yeah.
I love that.
So in that process, were there any like defining moments of finding your voice? Like things like doing a rebrand photo shoot and getting to share that new version of you, becoming so much more expressive colorfully online, like be embodying your boldness and loudness. And because I feel like from my perspective, I feel like I've watched all of that happen and kind of take form.
The evolution.
And it's been very real and authentic and bold, and especially coming from somebody who I would have described as like holding back a little bit before the rebrand. Mm-hmm. Were there any experiences or like defining moments that you were like, I am doing the thing and I'm on the right track doing this?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think so. When I was like exploring my colors, even I love green and orange together. And I felt so cool when I first came out with my like baby brand, because I incorporated color, but it was still like so muted. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I am a loud person. I am obnoxious. I'm very, very blunt. My colors need to come off that way because that's how I am as a person. I don't want my clients to like see this version of me online and then actually experience me and hear me like swear at them like in an endearing way.
Yeah.
But like swear and like be super blunt and loud and goofy and like not have expected that. Yeah. So like even my colors, I was like, I took some time. I picked out the ones that I wanted to explore. And then I was like, all right, let me push them further because that's what I want to push my clients to do. I have to do that for myself. And then with my brand shoot, oh my God, I was so nervous. I was so nervous because I wanted to feel like a badass. I was like, people describe me this way. Like I want to embody this myself. And I knew that like some people in my family and my life would like not like the fact that I'm wearing a sports bra and a blazer. But I was like, I'm going to do this anyway, because this is me. This is how I want to show up. I want to embody this power because I want every single one of my clients to feel it. And this is a way that I'm going to do that visually. And my photographer was awesome. And she, like those sunglasses I'm wearing, those are not mine. She just took those out of her purse and stuck them on my face. And it was just so much fun. And she is very much a person like me. And she's been in my community, and getting to work with her just was like a confirmation that I can do it. So it was nice to have that support too. But that was like a key moment for me in that as well.
Well, and it's also interesting because you offer brand design. You offer what you are doing yourself. And I had a very similar experience. My last rebrand, my whole brand was very like editorial, black and white and clean and polished. And I realized I was like, I wish that that was me sometimes, not like actually, but sometimes I do. I'm like, I wish that I was like this like clean little girly, like always wearing like white Chanel, but I'm like so not. I'm very chaotic and loud and like I'm way too much for a lot of people, and that's okay, but I had to come to terms with that, and I was like, I need to start attracting people to who I am as a person. And even sometimes when the team is like, let's clean up your Instagram feed so that there's like it's all photos and it looks organized, I'm like, no, but like the chaos is a representation of who I am. Like, come to my
Yes.
house, it's this. So I think that like leading by example when you are a brand designer and you're going to pull that out of other people, I actually think is like critical in a way. Like it is our responsibility to lead by example.
100%. And I love that you mentioned the Instagram feed, because that was another moment for me. I was like getting so frustrated that I had this like super meticulous grid of like green, then picture, then green. And I was like so mad because I would have these ideas and I'd have to like go create a cover for it. And it would be so annoying. And I had to then reschedule all my other things. And I was like, I need to be chaotic because that's who I am as a person. My feed can be chaotic too. It's too polished. It's too like specific. I'm like, I need to just be messy. And that's what I love.
Well, especially if it's going to hold you back from taking action. I always say that for people that are just starting or they're not starting. It's like messy action is better than no action. So if you're trying to make something perfect and it's going to prevent you from talking to someone or putting out a piece of content that could help someone or giving a piece of advice or launching your website or launching your business, like whatever it is, it can fucking be messy. It can be chaotic, and you do not need it to be perfect and polished because no one is. Like no one is. And in a way, you almost give your clients that acceptance and like permission to also not be perfect, because odds are they're feeling the same pressure to be perfect and show up and have this perfect grid. But it's like in the business that we're in, people want real, people want authentic, people want like, how are they as a human and what do they believe in? What are their values? How are they going to show up for me? And what are they going to provide? That's all they fucking care about. Nothing else.
Yes.
With you showing up more authentically, having found your voice and being the bold, crazy, colorful Molly that you are, do you feel like that has helped you in your attraction of clients? And has it made the process of getting clients that you feel like are more aligned? Has it played a part in that?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
I like my first client was so sweet and I adore her, but like she came to me because she knew me. I don't think it was like an organic attraction. But now, like even this morning, I had a client application come through from my event the other night and she's fucking hilarious. And I'm like, you're awesome. You are my type of person. She made a joke about like having autism and it being like a benefit to her clients. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's leverage that. This is awesome. And she's like, I want to look like I could steal your man, but like, let's go out to coffee. That's the vibe. I'm like, you and I, same wavelength. So 100%. And that's what I love about the work that I now get to do with people, because that is a huge part of my message because I experienced it. So I'm like, this works to attract your people. I do not believe in at all in settling for a client just to pay the bills. I've rejected clients even when I needed the money because I know that that's a core value for me and my brand, and I'm not willing to sacrifice on that or like compromise. And that's something that I embody for myself, my brand, and that's what I help my clients do is land dream clients over ideal clients.
I love that.
I like that a
lot.
So what are the clients that
really
do you have a defined niche of clients that you work with, or do you allow your vibes to be your niche?
My vibes are the niche. And that's, I think one thing that I really struggled with in the beginning was I didn't know what I wanted to do for a niche because I don't like being boxed in. I have like a background in design and I've always been this like super creative person in multiple different areas. Like I love super clean, modern, like timeless design, but I also love super crazy pattern, colorful stuff like that. And so I was really enjoying the colorful stuff for a while I tried to go into that, but I was like, it's just not hitting right. It's not what I want. Like I want to help anyone basically.
Yep.
I prefer service-based businesses. I don't do product just because I don't want to do all the product updates and stuff, but that's just my thing. But in general, it's my approach is my niche. I am very much for the people who are passionate about their work. I actually just posted a video about this the other day that if you are not passionate about your business and what you do for people, my approach isn't the best for you. Is it going to help you still attract people? Yeah, great. But it's not meant for you. I'm a very passionate, very intense person. So my approach really does help like weed out the people that it's not meant for. And it really attracts the people that are like super pumped about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible.
Real.
Have you seen a difference in people not as scared to make the investment because they come to you knowing like this is my person, this is who's going to help me, and they're like more willing to sign the invoice, pay the sign the contract, pay the invoice. Have you
Yes.
found that?
Yeah, I actually I have a client that I'm working with right now, and when I told her the price, it was like she signed up for my biggest package, and when I told her the price, she was like, "Oh, okay." And then I just like the girl that applied this morning, I have a question in there being like, "Are you ready to make this investment in yourself?" And I said, "Hell yeah, let's go." I'm like, "Absolutely, let's go."
Yeah, love that.
But the people who don't come to me organically, they definitely have a bigger hesitation. And I've only had a handful of those, like maybe two, that have been hesitant and either have gone or they're like, once they get on a call with me, they're like, "Oh, you're actually really fucking cool. Like, let's work together."
Yeah, I love that. What was your biggest package priced at that you said that
Right now it's at 4,400, and there's a lot that goes into it, but that's really for like younger business owners actually who are like very new in business. They want like a whole overhaul on their business where it's like the branding and brand strategy, really identifying your energy, and then a messaging intensive to help them get clear on like who they're meant to serve, and then packaging it all in a website. And I have that set up because I love helping people, but I have it set up in a way that's like, it's a big overall investment, but the payment plans for that are way more flexible than any of my other offers.
I love that. It seems like a great investment.
Yeah.
Like no brainer.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like the value of it is like almost $7,000.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
I was gonna say, well, you probably could charge.
I could. But I really have a heart for like younger business owners because I remember like feeling so freaked out and like all the struggles that I went through in the first year, bypass those by working with me.
I love how impact driven you are. Like, I think that is who remains in this business. I think that there's such a grasp for the money because we obviously live in a capitalistic world. Shit's expensive. Inflation is real. People need to make money. So I think that's people's first reaction is like,
shiny.
Ooh, I can make this kind of money as a web designer. And I think that that's incredible. And that's an element of it, but very small. Once you actually start working with the clients and you start building your business and you start evolving and growing as a human, it's like, this is about the impact, the amount of people that I can truly help and actually see a shift in then their life. It makes the money completely like a byproduct. Yeah. And if it's just about the money, you will not stay in this game. And like, it is really about the impact and the people that you can serve and feeling even fulfilled in the work that you're doing. Like every single student I've ever talked to who's still in business 1 to 3 years after they started their business, it's all because they genuinely are fulfilled with the work that they're doing and they genuinely enjoy the people that they're working with. It is never like
1,000%.
2.5 years in and I only care about the money. You'll never hear that. You'll literally never hear that.
Yeah.
It's just a byproduct.
And I feel like finding the people that you enjoy working with is actually so big. And I feel like from watching your brand and hearing that it's getting easier, I feel like once
or more aligned.
Yeah, and even easier though to get people to feel aligned and to feel the whole you. I feel like once you master that, and you also find whatever rhythm feels natural to you of showing your work process, essentially from the point of somebody being excited to work with you, to starting to working with you, to doing the work and what that impact is. And then ideally at the end, it's like a testimonial or like you just talking about how you're so excited that the site just went live and it's a site for this. Starts to make the people that are watching you pair your authenticity with seeing the client process somewhat like repetitively. And I feel like from watching Becca, watching some of our other students, those two things being done with cohesion make it so that like clients are literally able to start saying yes as an impulse purchase rather than a huge decision that they have to sit on for a while. And that is the best place to be as a creative business owner.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to be like a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what's next? What do you feel like are the next things in your brand and the clients that you work with and the offers that you have?
The next thing for me, I actually just posted it on my story today. I am making a little bit of a pivot marketing wise and leaning into what I'm calling my wildcard VIP, which is like the rapid turnover projects, which will eventually scale down to be website in a week and website in a day.
Yeah.
So I'm super, super excited to start that because I do have people like in my network that I've spoken to either in person at events or just like in my community online that do have the energy first approach in their business. And I love that. And they are attracted to me because I also do that, but they don't need the whole overhaul. So I'm super excited to just like be able to make a little bit of a pivot and let the trifecta be kind of a more of a back end thing. I've loved it and it's going to continue to stay and it will like always be a main offer for me. But I'm starting to make this pivot now to shift into a position where I can scale.
Yeah.
Well, girl, you can scale.
Yeah. You have so much potential.
I feel like even hearing about what you're doing and things like that, if that trifecta offer could become kind of like your high ticket custom offer, and you have a website in a day that you're able to take to those networking events and things like that, and the reaction to telling bold people that are business owners that you could do a bold website for them in a day
is the boldest thing ever.
And they're like, I've been wanting to launch this offer. I have this new thing launching. I have this idea that's burning a hole in the back of my brain. The fact that they could pay you between $2,000 and $5,000 for the day and it's done.
It's invaluable.
It's music to a lot of people's ears. And it's something that nobody, like obviously you hear us like pushing it down your throat. Do a day, do a day, do a day.
But no one in the real world
has ever heard. No one's even.
Yeah. It's
and so it's such a wow factor that I think you could slay with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm super excited. And the library is coming to me real soon.
Yes, it is.
Black Friday.
That's what I'm waiting for. Because I'm I've got it.
I'll give you the hot set.
Give me a month.
I'll give you the plug now. Wait for Black Friday.
And do you have templates yet? Or are templates a part of your vision?
I want to make them part of my business, but I feel like I need to just like set aside a week and then rebrand all of the websites I've done so far and then templatize them. I just haven't had the time yet, but it's definitely coming. It's on the docket for things in 2025.
Yeah. Nice. I love it. Well, people are going to be so inspired. It's actually funny because when I came out on my Instagram saying, I want to do another round of interviews, I had you on my mind and I got multiple DMs from other students being like, do Molly. So clearly you have people rallying behind you, which is just the coolest thing, even just like a testament to the community that we're all in. It's really so incredible. But I know people will be listening to this looking at you as inspiration. Like your journey is so inspiring and you really have found your voice and like stepped into your power. It really is. It's so incredible. And I'm so proud of you for it.
Thank you.
For someone on the other side listening and they're like, I'm really inspired, like, but I'm fucking scared to take the next step. I'm scared. Let's say they were like waiting for their prayers to be answered. They haven't taken any courses. They haven't decided yet. What would you say to them?
YOLO. You only live once. You might as well fucking do it. And then I think like there's two things that I kind of like live by. One is honest to God, YOLO. Like
Yep.
I'm gonna die one day. I might as well like do my best to have a ton of fun while I'm alive. And the second thing is putting yourself out there, I think is really, really scary for a lot of people. So the other thing that I live by is the worst that they could say is no. Like nobody's gonna like
True.
attack you and shame you and whatever for putting yourself out there. The worst that they could say is no.
So true.
And then you have your answer and you can move on.
Yeah, so true. I live by saying, I don't know who told this to us, but I swear we were teenagers.
I know.
Do you know what I'm going to say? I think it was actually maybe a homeless
It
person.
was a homeless person.
But we were like, for some reason, partying with a group of homeless people in a park. They were really fun though.
They were like travelers. They
But
were just like,
he kept saying, I woke up YOLO'd out. I woke up YOLO'd out. And I literally live by this man's saying every day. I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I woke up YOLO'd out. Like, let's get it.
I love that. I also love that it just came from a homeless person. Like that's hilarious.
100%.
His name was Troy. I actually remember the guy. But
Oh my God.
literally,
It's so funny.
it is true. Like you, well, I guess, okay. So now that you live YOLO'd out and you're doing it, you're taking a lot of, would you say that you're taking a lot of risks and pushing through fear of the unknown now in the business owner world that you're in?
Yes, I think honestly, the hardest part about being an entrepreneur is not developing the skill. It's not marketing. It's not getting clients. It's the mental resilience that it takes to make it work. Especially when you have an experience like me where I didn't get clients for like the first year. And I was like super frustrated. I was trying to figure it out. And that was like a slap in the face to me because I've always been like good at whatever I do. And I'm an extremely driven person. I've been told by multiple people that I'm the most driven person they know. And so for me to like fail in the first year was like so frustrating, but I have the mental resilience. And especially for like any students who are watching, just keep going. That's what I would say is like, just push as hard as you can for as long as you can and have a good support system to support you when you want to like cry over the things that aren't going well.
Totally. It will happen. And yeah, I fully agree. I think because I obviously get a lot of questions around marketing, booking clients, growing the business, all of the like logistical stuff. And while, yes, I could give tips and advice and strategy, the first thing that always comes to my mind is that's a mindset thing. That's a mind thing that is preventing you because even the way 99% of the time it's framed is out of scarcity and out of it not working and already projecting the fear of it not working out. And I'm like, well, even if you implement the most kick-ass marketing strategy, but you have this mind frame and mindset and you're putting that energy into what you're doing, it's probably actually not even going to work for you. So it really is building up this resilient mind and being like, you know what? It's not about like how I'm going to fucking get there. It's that I am going to get there and I will figure it out.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crucial. It's crucial. Well, I am so thankful for you for spending.
I'm thankful for you guys. You literally changed my life.
Aw, we need to meet. I'm thinking we need to do a team or a student meetup because we're doing one in Austin. I think maybe Chicago needs to be the next one. Would that be easy for you to go to?
Oh yeah, I could drive down there in like an hour and a half.
Okay. I think we need to do it because it really is so crazy and it's really cool to see just how like really it is life changing. Like as much as I know my own experience, now that I get to witness other people on this journey and just even how much it changes. It's not just a business thing. It's not just a job. It's literally like interpersonal life-changing work that just continues. And then like the potential, you're a year and a half. Wait, it was April. Yeah. So about a year and a half in. Like, even though it took you a year to get to feeling where you feel now, relatively speaking, if you have a 9 to 5, like how long does it take to fucking grow into something that you want to get to? You know, like a year and a half to even be in the position that you are now, and like the confidence that you exude and the power that you stand in, like that's fucking incredible.
Truly.
Even having that year of like, what am I doing? Like with that even being accounted for, like it's really fucking amazing what you're doing and how far you've come and just the evolution that I've witnessed from you. I'm like truly so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, really though. Well, where can people come hang out with you? Because I'm sure people are ready to stalk.
Oh yeah, follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. I am Molly Hansen.
I love it. Well, thank
It's a
you
vibe.
so much.
Slide into my DMs. Like I've had several web designers like shoot me messages and ask me questions and stuff, and I literally just like I was like in the DMs for like an hour and a half the other day, just like helping another designer try to strategize ways that she can get clients in her niche. And I'm like, you're fucking awesome. Here's my recommendation.
I love
like,
that.
Go for it. Try it. If it doesn't work, try something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Is just again testament to the community, and I really appreciate that you're so impact driven and would be willing to do that for the students and future aspiring web designers. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. I adore
Yes, thank you for having me. This was a blast. I'm so glad that I actually like got to talk to you guys. This is awesome.
Seriously.
I love it.
Hopefully the first of many.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Well, with that, we'll see you guys next episode. Bye.